Good evening. Welcome to the Power Hour, the CSW edition of the Power Hour. As tonight, we are going to talk an awful lot about the upcoming CSW show this Friday night, Second City Showdown 3. Joining me, as always, is the urban sensation, the icon, in the home stretch of his career, some would say, the one and only C-Red. Hello, Red.
What up?
And of course, manning the photography and a lot of the creative controls is the real deal, Rion Skills. Hello, Rion. Rion's, Rion's out there somewhere in the world.
I just said what's up.
Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. I talked over you as normal. Tonight, we will not be getting a visit from Pac-Man. He is off dealing with personal matters, so we wish him well. Perhaps we will get a chance to talk with Rachel, aka Cactus Rack, a little bit later on. I'd like to pick her brain about what went down this past Saturday night in Homewood as the championship of the Chicago Knockouts was decided. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute because Rion was there and we can go through that a little bit while we wait for our guests. Tonight on this show, we are featuring CSW, as I said, and our guests will be CSW Hall of Fame inductee and icon in this business, legend in the area, amongst other places, the one and only Ice Pick Vic Capri. Vic Capri has been in just about every facet of my career at one time or another. I refer often to the final PCW show that I called and the spectacular fall off of a balcony through many a table. We'll talk a little bit about that and much, much more with Vic when he joins us a little bit later on from now. And we were due to have Shelly Benson on this show, and she still might jump on for a few minutes. Like I said, wrestling is great. We love the jobs that we have, in this industry, but we all have Red. What do they call those jobs that we have in real life?
Shoot jobs.
That's right, shoot jobs. And every now and again, the shoot job takes priority over the wrestling job. Even though she's champion, she's still got to put food on the table, and she is doing shoot job business this evening, a little later than she expected. So if we get Shelly at all, it'll be later on in the program. Even if we get her for just a few minutes, it'll be worth it because she had one hell of a ride to get from being brand new in the business to CSW women's champion in less than 2 years. It really is a remarkable story. So we'll take what we can get from CSW champion Bombshell Shelly when she arrives. But I want to start the show talking a little bit about the podcast war. I mean, I don't know if it's a war, a skirmish, a playground banter, if you will. I don't know if I'd call it a war. Because if it's a war, there's a body count, and I haven't seen anybody dead yet. So it's just a mere skirmish or just a minor fracas, if you will, between JFW, the Fourth Mother Box, and us. Now, I'm not.
How are we in this?
Well, that's the thing. You know what? I listened to JFW. Now, I didn't get a chance to listen to their one today. Shame on me for that. So I don't know what went on there today or yesterday, shall I say. But I'm sure it's great. Check them out on wherever you find your good, podcasts, Podbean, Apple Podcasts. JFW's out there. That Travis is really good about putting JFW anywhere you need to hear it. There's this podcast that's really down on Turtle called Fourth Mother Box. And I listened to them. And they're interesting. I'll give them that. I listened to their show. I actually enjoyed. They've got great voices, so they're made for podcasting. So I dig their shtick. I don't know about their historical accuracy and why they want to drag us into a thing. I mean, I made a comment last time, kind of off the cuff, about them being in Florida and Ron DeSantis. It's just kind of political humor. We don't do that very often, but it was a nice spot to slide it in. Didn't really mean anything by it. I've no real beef with these guys. Rion, you've got that picture up there. Do you know which one's which?
Unfortunately, I do not.
I don't know either, but if they look like that, I mean, that's remarkable. Those are some pretty impressive tattoos. You kind of got a Joker and Batman vibe going there, which might mean they're kind of at odds from time to time their own selves. But Kyle really has issues with Turtle, which I have come to not necessarily enjoy so much as be amused by. So I'm gonna do this in an effort to kind of dispel this thing. I think the fourth mother box is pretty cool. It's entertaining. They do. Red, you love comics, and that's one of their go-to subjects. I mean, hell, their name is a DC oriented name, obviously.
Of course.
So I'm not really looking to skirmish with anybody, but just you don't need to talk about us. We're here doing our thing. You're there doing your thing, and I'll keep the Ron DeSantis humor down to a little bit. Even though Florida is where old people go to die, it's still, Miami's a happening place. So I don't know how far they are from that, but I got no real issue with the fourth mother box. Turtle's my friend. I don't like it when they rail him. I feel like the turtle abuse is a little excessive. But Turtle can fight his own battles. I don't need to fight Turtle's
But
battles.
how? But again, like, how did we get in this?
Well, I made a reference to them.
So I know
Well,
the reference. I know the reference you made, and I heard a bit of their show when they talked about it. So, and I got it. Okay, but if Turtle, let's be honest, and I love Turtle just as much as ever. But if Turtle starts talking shit, let's be honest, most of the shit he talks, and then it's a war, like, let's be honest, like, stop, shut the fuck up. And this won't happen. But
fair.
he does it.
Nope.
And my thing is, I mean, hey, if it gets us people to watch and all this, that's great, that's fine, all well and good. But at the same time, I can 99.999% guarantee we won't never meet them. They won't never meet us. Not face to face, live and in person. Again, unless we invite them on and this, that, and the other. And again, if we do, great. Hey, if we don't, okay. But leave us the fuck out. We got other shit to talk
Are
about.
you about to go Will Smith on them? Keep our podcast out your mouth.
No, I won't again. Because
don't get up on stage and slap anybody, Red. We don't need that.
I don't slap people. I don't. Well, Damian Gray, I do. Yeah. But again, this ain't, because I don't even know these guys, so I ain't got no issue with these guys. Ain't got no beef.
You should listen to it, Red. You dig it. It's entertaining stuff. They had a very, very. I don't know if they had seen it yet, but I believe they were speaking favorably about the Marvel's film that just came out last week. Marvel is broken right now. It is a broken franchise, and they just can't seem to find. I don't know if it's the fact that they're dealing with the cursory characters more now than they ever have, because when Marvel first took over the big screen, they could do no wrong.
I disagree.
Did you see Marvel's?
I'm not. I'm going this week to see.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but there are moments in the film that made me want to run out of the theater screaming.
May I interject in this one particular thing?
This is where Rion makes me look stupid, but I can't wait to see how he does it.
No, it's not even a matter of being stupid. It's a conversation that I had with people previously that have been watching the MCU for the longest of days. I've explained this as Disney already got our money. They're going after the young people. And there's going to be a lot of stories that aren't for you, like flat out, because of the way that they're handling it. Now, they're going to, because we're going to watch regardless. Like, there's no way around it. They're not looking at us. The strategy is that they're bringing a bunch of newer and older characters. Not you look at it, but they're bringing a lot of newer characters as a palate cleanser for the X-Men. Everyone's looking for the X-Men. Like there's no way around it. It's coming. They're waiting for this thing to take place. But in the meantime, there's a bunch of these other characters that, and this is just me, I hope that half of them die. Not
I think that's what
because
the mother box wants from us.
well, this is because you guys keep picking fights, but
I
that's
would
another
pick
time.
no fights. Look, we'll talk about this at length a little bit later on, but I'm going to bring him into the room right now because we should talk to our guests. So I'm going to engage the little admit feature, and we are going to bring in certainly a man that doesn't really need introduction. Did I lose him? How'd that happen? He's still joining. So I'll save the intro. And
I'm sorry. Go
here he
ahead.
comes. We're good. I'm trying to make this thing work. There we go. So he'll be up in a second and we'll introduce him properly. But I'm interested in hearing Rion's point on this because I think I know what he was trying to say, and I'm interested to see the rest of it because I think maybe it makes sense to me. And
a lot of it makes sense.
Yes. So welcoming into the show right now is a man that needs no real introduction. We'll ask him to engage his video screen if he's got one. But if we need to talk to him just via the sound, that'll be just as good. This man really doesn't need an introduction.
And he's been on there before.
He's been on the show before, and we've seen, especially over the last couple of days, people sharing the newspaper subscriptions of being number one, once upon a time, still number one in our hearts, but that was a very young photograph of our guest, the legend, the icon, the Ice Pick, Vic Capri. Hello, Vic. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Hold on. I'm gonna try and log in on my actual phone here instead of this stupid laptop thing. It's not-
Even the great ones sometimes have difficulties in the cyber world. I know I have difficulties on just about every day on this thing. And also joining us right now is our esteemed colleague. You know her as Cactus Rack. We know her as Rachel. Hello, Rachel.
There he is.
Hello, hello.
And there he is. Now you can see the face of a man that has had many a battle over many a year. Vic, thanks for taking time out to join us tonight. Just regaling, I was going through your Facebook photographs, grabbing pictures to use to post to announce that you were going to be on the show. And just looking at all the moments, the memorable moments in a career that has spanned multiple decades. I mean, it's a wonder some of the punishment you've taken that you're even still walking around. And now you're being inducted into CSW's Hall of Fame, and there aren't a lot of people. It's kind of a short list. How are you feeling these days about being a Hall of Famer? I'm sure you're a Hall of Famer in many places, but CSW has been with you a long time, you with them a long time. It's got to be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, it's not just CSW. I've been with Boz from the beginning. I started. He was one of the trainers at Windy City along with Mike Anthony. So it's kind of nice to kind of not close this chapter. I shouldn't say it's nice to close the chapter. Don't take me wrong. It's nice that I get to finish finish things up or start to finish things up with him there, that kind of thing. And he came to me and asked me who I wanted around for who I wanted to invite for the Hall of Fame, and I rattled off some names, and so I'm hoping a number of those people can show. I know one that I know to talk to somebody, and they told me he's coming, so I'm really happy about that. So I'll leave it as a surprise. But there's some old time Windy City people that are going to be coming out. I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be a nostalgic moment.
And again, you've done so much and been so highly regarded for so long. And with that newspaper article that people were sharing all over Facebook today, I mean, being number one on that list with so many people that are so ingrained in the Chicago scene, the Midwest scene, and every other place to have been the top talent at that time. You've kind of never, when you achieved recognition and notoriety that way, you never backed off the pedal. You kind of always maintained that level of excellence because wherever you went, whether it be Dreamwave or even the short time you came to Crash Tested to face somebody in their final match, we'll always remember that match. That was absolutely crazy. But wherever you've been, when people say, "Hey, Vic Capri's on the card tonight," the reaction is universal. Oh shit, what's he gonna do tonight? And that is an amazing thing to get as long as you've been in this industry. Do you feel like you have to live up to the legend that you've built?
Yeah. It sucks sometimes, like I've been hurting, I had my knee scoped early August right after the Dreamwave show, and I still have a torn ACL in that knee, and just the other knee doing the brunt of the work has made that one act up on me real bad, and my low back, because just favoring one knee. Now my low back hurts, and broke my finger at practice. Um, so
And this is all coming after that big shoulder thing you had a few years back where you were on the shelf for about 6 months. I thought it might be it at that point, but you made it back better than ever.
yeah, that was the tricep. I did separate my shoulder at one point. I was out for 3 months, but that was the tricep, and I was out for 6. And yeah, that one was rough. That one, I was itching for something, and at one point I was like, I didn't want to come back. And then as it got close, it was like, all right, I'll make the appearance, and at least I can say goodbye. And as soon as I got out there, it was just like, nope, I'm fired up. Let's go. So it's just one of those things, I've said that my bump cards are almost full, and it really is. I am hurting a lot lately, a lot that I haven't told people. But it's one of those things, I'm 50, and I never really cared about myself when I was in the ring. I'm more worried about the other people, and I just kind of threw all caution to the wind most of the time. So I did a number on my body, plus all the sports and things like that going up too. So that didn't help either. But yeah, it's tough because like the last few CSW shows, I feel like I've been phoning it in, to be honest with you. Been in multi-person matches and things like that, and so it's one of those things like, okay, I don't have to work hard, and I'm hurting, so I'm just going to kind of take a back seat and let everybody else do their stuff. And it pisses me off that I've done that. But it really pisses me off that I've done that over the last few shows, and it's not me. I went out and did a rugged pro wrestling up by Ames, Iowa. Worked Jackson King, I think is what he goes by. A kid from out that way, good kid, and I made sure I went out there and I busted my ass for it. I wanted to make sure he had one of the best matches that I could give him at that time. So that felt great. Same thing with Fusion. Wrestling with Gonzo. It's something him and I have wanted to do for a while, and it never really came about. So to go out there and get to wrestle with him and just have some fun, it was nice too. But yeah, I feel guilty about phoning it in the last few CSW shows, to be honest with you. So,
well, I mean, whether you say you phone it in or not, I don't think the fans could tell because whenever you come out and do your thing, it's always entertaining. Now, Gonzo is someone that you've had a hand in training to a certain extent. And I know you've been very influential in the rise of Shelly. Is this the next chapter in your career? Are you going to be working with the young people and making these people respect and understand the business?
Yeah. it's originally I was hoping to just do something in back, get a backstage job. But then I honestly never thought I could train anybody. Never thought I had patience to do it or the knowledge to do it. And when Shelly came to me, I figured I'll give it a shot. I'll see what I can do to help her. And I realized that yeah, I can do this. I can teach people. And I mean, I can teach her. I know that, and some other people that the people that are willing to listen. That's the big thing is as long as somebody's willing to listen. I may not have all the answers. Like I've given Shelly advice on something to try changing this way. And when she went to do it, I'm like, nope, that was my mistake. Go back to the way we were doing it. It was better, you know. So it's getting to work with everybody, and like she's just a sponge. She absorbs everything, and she works really hard. So I'm very proud of everything that she's accomplishing, and yeah, she's helped me realize that I can train people, and that's something I'm really going to start looking into doing more in the next 6 to 8 months.
I can tell you this. I saw Shelly's very first match at CSW right up through the championship match last month against Sierra. And she has done nothing short of rise. It's a meteoric rise through the ranks of CSW. And, she has been developed into a fan favorite. I mean, when she walks out, that place goes crazy like no other person. I mean, Marche is beloved by all. Boz, of course, is beloved by all. But there's just something special about Shelly. And the way she has improved from match one to match now, and how the fact that she's gone all over the place. Dreamwave, Fusion. I mean, there are places that she's got titles in right now. And if that's any indication of the kind of training you do, I would like to think that a lot of the young people out there would want to hit up the Ice Pick to get a little tutelage, because she has made quite a story for herself.
She's an amazing person. So I mean, I'm not going to take all the credit, especially all the credit for Shelly. She came into wrestling with already just an amazing ring presence, and then it was just fine tuning things and working with her and finding out what she liked. Who are her influences? What did she like? How did she want to wrestle? Who did she want to be in the ring? And she had a good sense of who she wanted to be. And then it was just trying to fill in with all the people that she looked up to and idolized through the years to put her spin on their stuff, kind of thing. And then, she's a fan of Medusa. So of course I love Medusa and Bull Nakano's matches. And so there is a little bit of that Japanese, even though she didn't realize it. I've shown her some stuff, and a lot of stuff that I show her, she's like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. So it's great for me, because I really only watch Japanese wrestling. I don't watch anything in the States anymore. It's very rare I watch anything from here in the States. So yeah, for her to accept me just dumping all this Japanese wrestling on her, it has been great. And she's picked up stuff that, there's hints at things that we've played off of when I teach her something and that she likes, and it's similar to something I do. Because originally there was supposed to be a storyline where we were just going to drop hints until she turned babyface, and then we had to jumpstart the babyface turn for her at CSW. But so yeah, there's little things that hint at I was training her based on the way she did things. And I'll spoil. I don't want to spoil stuff. Never mind. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about that.
We're going to retract everything that he just said.
No, just the hesitation, but there was something there, and it's like, I don't want to say that yet.
Just reel that back in. That'll be something for a surprise for another time. I'm watching C Red up in the corner. Obviously both of you are Windy City guys, and whenever there's a Windy City guy, I have to shut up. And Red, the Ice Pick is all yours, my friend.
Man, what do you want me to say? What's up, Vic?
What's up, Red?
I mean, first of all, take the shirt off, go get the mullet. That's the Vic that I know and love. When the outfit was running shit, dude, that is what. And I know this sounds crazy. So let me preface this: no homo. Like I swore it down. Vic was the best looking man alive. When they were standing on the beach and posing, and I was like, shit, I want to look like that. And then I realized, no, I can't. So
I would like to see that. I would be all for that.
dude, I mean,
I'm all for let's redo those pictures. You know, we'll have you out there on the beach.
no, I'm straight. I'm straight.
It'd be great.
I'm all in. I'm all
Not
in.
not only am I past dad bod, I'm in granddad bod now. So like so I was a fan of Vic's way before I even got in the business, of course, because he started before I did. And Vic one day, like Vic was one of those guys that even though he was a bad guy, I stuck my hand out when he walked past, like, hey, and it was like, I still like you. You can't make me not like you. I still like you. And that was the thing. Like, I was such a hound for Windy City before I joined. So I knew everybody. Like everybody. Now Rion's got a close picture, but that ain't the mullet. I need the mullet.
The mullet was there for the first 6 months because I was growing the top out. So yeah, you got to get the real early pictures.
And
Like my first match in the white and blue trunks at Battle of the Belts '98. Oh man, I look terrible. So bad.
But you look good while you looking bad.
Look at that picture. When I saw that, I was trying to read the articles. I had that thing blown up so high. I'm trying to read through but boy, the list that you were on top of, so many people that I have seen and worked with over the years. It makes sense. The 10 years I've been doing this, I've worked with one person or another, but I've worked with the later versions, and I wish I could go back and see you guys when you were young, upcoming, to see how you were, because I would imagine that Vic Capri did things a little different than the Vic Capri that I'm used to.
No.
Yeah.
But
Really?
no, don't tell that lie, Vic. Do not tell that fucking lie. No. Vic has always, it's crazy that Ripper would come out balls to the wall, right? And no, everybody else, especially Vic, I don't give a damn. Vic, he talking about phoning it in now. Vic didn't phone shit. He broke the phone, threw it, buried that bitch, burnt it. Now, it is a reason why Vic Capri is number one on that list. It is Vic didn't play. Vic was one of those guys that regardless of who his opponent was, one, he kept them safe. Two, he adapted to their style. And that's what I loved when it came to Vic's wrestling. So if Vic had a high flyer in the fucking ring, Vic knew how to ground his ass. If it was somebody bigger than Vic, Vic knew how to cut their ass down the side. Like, Vic is the perfect complement when it comes to wrestling. Because he can adapt and he can, whatever your style is, he can eliminate that shit and beat your ass. And that's what I loved about Vic, because 9 times out of 10, he beat your ass. And you wouldn't think, and it was like, yeah, okay. All right, I remember a friend of mine, and his name is Larry. God, I haven't seen Larry in years. And Larry is the one that actually got me turned in Windy City, on the Windy City. And Vic comes to the ring one day, and me and Larry are sitting there. He was like, "Yeah, I can't stand the fucking Ice Pick. He's gonna get his ass whooped." And um, I think you were fighting. It was either I want to say Hammer, but don't quote me. It might be Hammer.
I never wrestled Hammer. I did wrestle Willie. When I
It
wrestled
might have been Willie. I can't remember it. So it was probably Willie. But because of the girth of Willie at the time, he was like, the bomber's gonna whoop his ass. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. No, he ain't.
It-
And I mean, and you it was I for him because he gave me this look and he was like, but you're a black guy. Shouldn't you be rooting for the black guy? And I was like, no, not this case. Not this case. No. I don't know who booked this shit, but Willie ain't winning shit. No. And man, Vic ran circles around Willie that night. And I laughed my ass off because I looked back at Larry. Told you he was gonna get his ass whooped. But you know, I mean, just here's where I guess the biggest reason why I love Vic. And it's hard calling you Vic because I'm trying not to call you. I don't even call you Vic.
it's funny because like when people have come to me and asked me like, I just introduce myself as Vic. You know, whenever it comes to wrestling, because I'm 50, Vic is 25. I've been Vic for 25 years. I just look at it as a nickname, so I respond to it. You know, sorry to cut you off, C-Red, but
No, it's
2 years after I stopped wrestling, so about 2005, I was actually working at a car dealership, running through the parking lot, and I hear Vic, and I stopped in my tracks and turned and looked, just not even thinking. I'm at work, and somebody said Vic, and I stopped and looked. He was a UPS driver, and he was a wrestling fan. He used to go to Windy City shows. So it it just I hear Vic, I turn. It doesn't make a difference anymore.
no, I get it. And I love the way you phrase that because then that means that Red is 20. So I love
As a
that.
second childhood.
You know, I love that Red is 20, you know. I don't feel 20, but I'll take that.
I'm 25.
But one of the things that I love about him, first of all, you know when he's pissed off. And you know when he's pissed off in the fucking locker room, don't go fucking by him.
That's fair.
Like, and I'll never forget, we went in the Dreamwave locker room. I don't know who pissed him off, but he was pissed off. And like his chair was cat-a-corner to mine. And everybody kept trying to come through where we were. And like somebody accidentally bumped them and they were like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. And he gave them this look like he was ready to jump up and beat their fucking ass. And I just sat there and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna move till Marche says it's time for us to go up. I don't want no smoke. I'm gonna let this man have this whole little area. Like I got dressed on a bar stool. Like I didn't get out the chair. No, fuck that. I wasn't moving. Vic was not. But outside of that, I love him, period. He has given me sound advice throughout the years when it comes to wrestling. That's how I never can figure out how you said you didn't think you could be a trainer. You have one of the best fucking minds, period. I've sat there, we have been in matches and I've heard you put shit together. And I'm like, wow, shit that I never would think of. And it was like, wow, that makes sense. Okay. Damn. All right. So my personal belief, the top people that were in Windy City, and I'm not top, you guys were trained right. So you guys know what should be in the ring, what shouldn't be in the ring, and how to tell a great story. That's why I fucking love Vic, because Vic tells great fucking story. Since the day I first saw him in the outfit, it was great fucking stories. That's why I watched Windy City, because of the fucking stories. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like D-Light. Who? What is he? Who is he? And I love my guy D-Light, but there was no story when I got introduced to him. But to see Vic on TV and get a tape of Vic in the outfit and what the hell they were going on, who they were fighting, it was like, oh shit, this better than the Mafia. Like, dude, they were the Sopranos before the Sopranos. Yes, Rian, we said, okay, go ahead,
Well,
Rian.
we'll give Rion the timeout, but I don't know if you saw Rion was putting up match footage of Rion's skills versus Vic Capri. So I thought that was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, that was from PCW. That match was so much fun. Seriously, there was. I just remember Rion. We were doing some stuff and just pulling shit out of our ass in the opening of the match, and it was just so much fun, just playing off of each other. And I wish I had tape of that match. I don't know if you do, but man, I
You
still
and me
have
both.
good
I'm
memories.
still looking for it. I'm still looking for it.
All
This
right.
is the only reason why I even called the timeout is because I was going to piggyback on what Red was saying because of the match that we had. Because you had just gotten back into wrestling as a whole.
Yep.
And I know that there were a bunch of guys that were coming back from not just Windy City, but from like PWI and everything else, and they were preparing to push me, and you guys had no idea what I was. Because when you look at me, it's like, what the fuck? Like, you're gonna push that dude? I hear stuff like that all the time. So then when I'm in the ring with not just you but Jay Ryan, you guys had the same response, and I am nervous as all hell because I know who you guys are because of the lineage that you've already presented. So for me, being able to just work with you guys and you guys being very comfortable, and you especially because Jay had been there for a little bit. You literally just walked in the door, was like, all right, let's just do some stuff. What? What do you mean? What? And it just the idea, and like even just so far back then, just the idea of just doing that was the first time I was able to do like Japan style wrestling because of the way we were able to just train little stuff. I was like, I didn't even realize the way that guys work now.
Mhm.
You were doing it decades ago.
Yeah.
That is nuts to me. I if anything, let me just say thank you and then hang up so I can go ahead and get back to these photos. Let me just get that out the way.
Oh man, I have great memories of that match. Even though I just some of the stuff I know we did, and the intensity in it and stuff like that. And yeah, I've been watching Japanese wrestling, since just before I actually really started wrestling here, and so everything just kind of influenced what I was doing. And I was going through doing the tape trading, and there was a Japanese mall about a mile down from where I live, and went there, the video store, and said, okay, which one's pro wrestling? New Japan, All Japan. Okay, here, I want to rent these. And I would bring them home and double them. And so I think what got me noticed by a lot of people was the fact that my entire moveset was Akiyama. Um, so I just took everything basically from Akiyama as I got going, as I got comfortable with stuff. And so people hadn't seen it, especially here in the Midwest. some people on the West Coast and East Coast were doing some of that stuff too, but in the Midwest, nobody else was doing it. And so that's really kind of what I think set me apart, just because I was doing stuff that nobody had seen. So, but yeah, the Rion, I have a rule with anybody like the first time I'm working with them, because to me, I'm just an indie guy. It's all I've ever been. So when people get nervous to work with me, it's some people, I said this on another podcast, the resting Vic face, everybody thinks I'm an asshole, or just mean. And I'm actually laid back and don't give a shit. So when I get to talk out matches with people that, and I can tell they're nervous, or try and get them hyped up, and feel like, I'm not going to call your offense. What do you want to do? Let's make this work. Let's tell this, like C-Rad was saying, let's tell a story. I'm always open with everybody every time I work them, just to get input from them. I'm not going to call the whole match. That's not how I work. So to have you say that, how comfortable it made you feel, and everything like that, and the experience you had, always makes me feel great. So.
Oh, it's amazing how your affiliation with Red and Rion, it's like you've touched the lives of everybody, podcast to podcast. I see you doing more podcasts now than I've seen in a while. And it's like you have a connection with everybody because your career has so many tentacles that span so many places and so many times. As you look back, obviously, being a Hall of Famer now,
Not yet.
it takes on Friday, as we get closer to it, you're not coming to the end, but that's quite a pinnacle, 25 years in a business. So looking back as much as you can, is there a match that you look back at? I mean, everybody has a favorite song, a favorite movie. And I know we've asked many wrestlers on this show, do you have a favorite match? And most can't really pick just one. And I'm not asking you or putting you on the spot and saying this is forever, but I know I will never forget the match between you and Brubaker that ended in a flaming table. I'm pretty sure nobody that was in Franklin Park that night, including the fire marshal, will ever forget that situation that happened, because that might be the most violent thing I've ever seen live. And it was such great storytelling. And to hear me call the match, I literally was hyperventilating by the end, because shit went so far south of anything I had seen before that it's an amazing memory for me. And then, of course, there's the final PCW match that I have talked about for an entire decade, you versus Joe Heisman. So I have memorable matches. And, one of the worst things that ever happened to me at CSW was to be the general manager and be the guy that has to strip you of a title. I have never been booed like that before in my life. And I have never been more afraid in the ring, because I'm like, I know he's hurt, but this story could change on a dime.
Yeah.
So I have some really memorable moments in my 10 years in this business of you specifically, because you have shown up or been everywhere I have been at one point or another. So you are like the common denominator of my entire career. That's why I love having you on and love talking to you, because you have been with me my entire journey. So what are some of the matches that you look back to? I mean, you said nice things about Rion, but are there matches that stand out like, God, I was on that night. I was really feeling it that night. What are some of the matches that you remember?
Well, different reasons I'll remember some of them, but I'll never forget the ladder match between me and Jason at Battle of the Belts 99. So I mean, that was, there's never been a ladder match in Windy City, and we went out there and we got such praise for it for a short period of time, because then Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon went out there and made us look like crap. But we got a lot of praise for it from a lot of places. And when we did both leave Windy City, people were just saying, hey, come do a ladders are legal match. we won't even hang anything up. And it was like, okay, sure, why not? So that one was a big one. My first big match outside of Windy City, being part of the Super 8, I'll never forget getting to work with Christopher Daniels for the first time. And that really is what got me out there. And I owe all of it to Christopher Daniels. He's the one who clued me in that somebody was hurt and who to send everything to, and told the promoter about me ahead of time. And to go out there and get to put him over the year he won was great. And it just opened so many doors for me, got me national recognition. So that'll always stand out. Just fun matches, like the ladder match I did at Blitz with Maddie Starr. Just fun, and just the creative finish that I came up with to have fun with a ladder match. Another one, like the 2 out of 3 falls ladder match with Donovan Morgan. I'll always remember. It was just fun as hell. Donovan was an amazing athlete and just a great wrestler. The match I had with Jerry Lynn at Blitz. Matches in here with Arya Davari, just a super talented kid. There's just tons, and there's so many that there's different reasons why. Like I got to wrestle. Oh, my puppy's gonna stick her nose in here. So there's different reasons for all of them, whether it was my first time working a big name, or just the fun we had and the chemistry we had in the ring. Whoops, things like that. There's so many different aspects, and there's little things to each match that's what I like about it. So I can't really give you like 1 or 2 matches.
How about a rival? Do you have somebody in the ring that you've worked with many times that you consider, a good match for you? I mean, matches, are one thing, but is there like one person or a couple of people that, you will never turn down a match with, you always work, or is there something like that?
Oh yeah. Shogun, Chris Logan, Rough Crossing, Brubaker,
No, we don't ever need to see you and Brubaker fight again. That chapter is closed. I don't know what you guys see. You guys would try to up that, and I don't think someone has to die. Someone has to die to up that street fight.
But we wrestled so many times, and there's just such a good chemistry. He has the intensity that I have out there, and so it's always a lot of fun.
Let's not forget that cage match.
Yeah,
and you guys have done some shit. I forgot, almost forgot a minute about that cage match.
Yeah, and like Ace Steel too. That's another one. He had that, and he's another one that any day he calls me up and says, "Hey, I actually got to wrestle him last August. It's him and Brock Anderson, and against me and Jeremy Wyatt out at Central States Wrestling in Kansas City. And it's one of those. I get the call from him. I'm on it. I love working with Ace. One of my favorites. So, yeah, but there's certain people that you click with. You have that similar energy when you're in the ring, and the Brubaker and Ace have that intensity and the energy, and the technical portion of it and everything. And we can, the 3 of us together, or me with either one of them, can just tell a really good story. Rough is just an amazing. Rough Crossing is just Ruffo now. Getting to work him as Rough Crossing, he just has a mind for wrestling that it is ridiculous. Him and I would start brainstorming when we would find out we had matches or something coming up somewhere else, and we'd start brainstorming ideas. We'd run at each other and show them like, let's do this and this and this, and then do this. And by the time we had the whole match called before we get to the show, because we would just run into each other and just come up with ideas and pitch them with each other. So it's for him, it's just that it's so easy to call something with him, and we just play off each other so well. So yeah, and then there's always Jason Rain isn't going to wrestle again, but I started my career with him. I think we probably had about 40 or 50 matches in our first year against each other. We wrestled everywhere, and I wouldn't be where I am. There's a number of people along the way, but I wouldn't have been where I was without Jason's help. Practice would end and people would leave, and Jason and I would stick around for 2 more hours and work on stuff. And we got married to each other and worked all married to each other is fucking lingo bullshit. But so we were tied to each other for 50 matches, and Vic Capri wouldn't have developed the way he did without Jason and like Mike Kratchner, who was helping out at Windy City too. So that's where everything that got started. Where it was basically the two of them helping me and me helping Jason along the way. And then from there, um, once I got out on the road more and meeting people and having to learn how to walk into a locker room, not have never met the person and be like, okay, we're working tonight, let's put a match together, was completely ridiculous to me at first. I was half the time Jason and I would drive to the show and we'd put everything together before we got there. So it there's so much to it. So like I said, Jason and Gratchen helped me a ton getting started and getting on the road and learning more and then meeting people like Donovan Morgan and Mike Modest. Just took everything to another level. Picking their brains and getting to work with them. So
let me just
Wrestling
say,
when you started. You got one?
Hey,
it's all yours, Red.
Damn it.
Hey, I'm not going to shut up until I'm told to shut up. So it's all yours, Red. I got questions. I could go on all night.
I mean, you can ask your question, but I'm just going to say, we be damn Nick Brubaker. We're the revolution, goddammit. We're the revolution. And it's Thanksgiving season. And we got still a turkey with your goddamn name on it with mashed potatoes and peas. I still ain't cleaned that shit off.
I've heard about that one.
Yeah, I had mashed potatoes like stuffed in my back pockets and everything. It was a mess. I just threw all those. I just threw the clothes out when we got in the back. I didn't even. I'm not putting them in a bag and trying to get them home. Nothing. I'm just throwing.
I did the dummy and tried to do that shit. And that's the thing. If anybody ever asks my favorite match, and it wasn't even a match, it was the promo. But to know the extent that, like that opening segment was 15 minutes.
Us getting smashed with food.
And I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. The crowd ate it up. The crowd hated us.
Yes.
And we come out to say why we're thankful. And it's me, you, Jay, Ali, and Roberts.
Yep.
And we all go around the table. We get our chance to talk, and by the time everybody is done, like the fans wanted to whoop our ass, like come across. And then all of a sudden, here comes the babies, and food is flying. Nobody told the fans, so they getting shit thrown in their face too. And it's like, hey, you paid for front row. This is what you paid for. That is my memory. And I don't think I could have been associated with 4 better people. And yeah, it was just the story, but it was the way the story was told. And I love it that it was you, somebody that I respected so highly. Roberts, somebody that trained. Ali, somebody that I love dearly. And our story continued after that. Jay, who didn't have to give me a fucking opportunity, but he brought me in, and for me, I will forever be grateful for what he did. Not only before Dreamwave, but then when he brought Dreamwave, and that shit just took off and still taking off. So that for me, because never did I ever think I would be in a faction with Vic Capri, let alone roll around a ring with mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, peas, and all like it gets no better than that. Like, Sam,
Red,
I didn't need all that training.
Red.
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, I've been trying to look for this thing. There are so many pictures that he's wrestled so many matches. I am trying. I'm trying my damnedest to find this. There's so many, there's so many pictures. Holy. Okay, I'm trying. Just know that I'm trying. I'm
So,
trying to get.
there's
It's cool.
there's that one, and there's another one. It may be hard to find because back then Dreamwave only did DVDs, and they're just now starting to filter those in on IWTV. IWT, yeah. So there's probably not going to be pictures from that stuff because J-Rep was real big on that, the DVD, and you sell the DVD, nothing on YouTube, nothing else. So you probably won't be pictures, but that food fight was so much fun. But actually, I don't think you were there. I don't think you were there for the outside show, and we did a run in the main event, and then got beat up and pelted with water balloons.
I came to the one after that
Okay, so
because everybody talked about that, and then the fear was the next show. They were like, "Well, you're gonna get your suit messed up, because they might hit you with water balloons again." So I went out there like, I'm not gonna bring my best suit. I'm going to bring a old 2-piece. That way, if it get messed up, I don't care. But let me ask you this, and I'll let Steve get back. The Super 8 tournament. First of all, I love the Drakes. I still talk to Brad to this day. The Super 8s was the shit.
it was an I8.
I8.
The Super 8 was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was the East
I8
Coast.
was the one with the Drakes.
I knew it was one of them damn 8s. Steve, you would have lost your shit.
That happens regularly. If I'm not my shit, people think something's wrong.
Understand, they only ran once a year, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this tournament was the shit. And if you think anybody sells out now, no, fuck that. If you didn't grab your ticket in the first few hours, you fucking cut off. You done. And I was good to see Vic and other people in the ring. I was mad because they stopped right before I was able to get Marche in the door. I was trying to get Marche in the door. But you wrestled somebody, he who shall remain nameless on this show.
Here we go.
Just because we don't want no smoke. So,
I don't think Braun's watching.
Oh, Brian ain't watching. All right, so you wrestle CM Punk.
Yeah.
All right. Wasn't that on the IA tournament?
I have that photo. I have that photo.
Yeah, that was the I8. I wrestled him twice in the LWF, and then once in a triple threat at IWA Mid South, and then once in the I8. Yeah.
Oh shit! You
Yeah.
work for Ian too?
Yeah, it works for Ian too.
Oh shit! See,
there you go. There's that picture. Rion's on point tonight. Rion's motivated tonight. Look at that picture. That's
Ian. Rion found the picture. He had it up a minute ago. Ian at one point had Sherry Martel managing me for like 6 months.
I saw that.
That was so much fun. She was cool as hell and real helpful too. She helped me realize, especially as a heel, don't try and work everybody. Pick 1 or 2 people and just ride them. And then everybody else will just pile on you for picking on them. And it was like, oh, okay. And so I normally try and find one person on each side of the ring. I just lean on them the whole time and go from there. But yeah, and then that was when I first really got to kind of spread my wings, and Ace and I had become friends, and we really got to work a series of matches. You know, Ian had 2 out of 3 falls. We did an Iron Man. We did I can't remember what else we did, but I know we wrestled like 4 or 5 times for the lightweight title, including the one that I know the clip is on YouTube now, or not YouTube, is on Twitter, of us giving each other a choke slam at the same time, which was a lot of fun. we decided to do everybody's finisher because there's only like 10 people in the crowd.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, it's IWA Mid South show.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
it was
that you
a
mentioned
Dayton,
that.
Ohio show, so yeah, there was nobody there.
It's funny that you mentioned picking one person in the crowd and going after them. I have seen you do that at CSW a few times. And I always wondered, gee, I wonder if this guy has something on him, or if there's something there. But now that you say that that's something that you learned from her, I've watched you do it, and it does really work, because when you're going after that guy, the crowd rallies behind their fan, and it really is very effective. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you can do it to a younger kid, that helps too. But like I've done it to an older lady, and everybody ends up hating you for it just instantly as soon as you talk trash to them. At Rugged Pro last weekend, I was just Shelly came up to me in the locker room. She goes, "Oh my God, you were such an asshole out there. I loved it," and then walked away.
There have been times I thought you were going to break the fourth wall and jump over the barrier and get the fans, because there every now and again you'll get a fan that wants to get brave, and they're taking at liberty that there's going to be no physical contact. And I'm just like, is this the day that Vic snaps and pistol whips a fan? Because you have that kind of heat and disposition where it feels like you are dangerous. And I wonder how a fan gets to the point where they're going to get nose to nose with you and feel like that's a good idea.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm like the toughest person in the world or anything like that. I mean, I'll take an ass whipping if I have to take an ass whipping, and it probably happen more than I would win a fight, to be honest with you. But it's I don't know. People, especially at wrestling shows, they try to push the envelope as far as they can, to see how they can get people riled up. They do it to rile up the rest of the crowd too. We know that there's smart fans that are out there that just want to kind of get the whole show kind of going, and they lean on the heels more than they cheer the baby faces, just to, they're not stupid. The fans definitely are not stupid. Not like, I don't want to say they were stupid in the 80s, 70s, 80s and stuff like that, but they get it, and they play their part too. And it's a lot of those regular fans that they play their part. They'll ride the heels, and they'll cheer for the baby faces, and they'll get on the heels as hard as they can and push the envelope as far as they can, because they know everybody else is going to have fun with it, and it's going to energize everybody else. Plus, they know when that starts happening, it energizes us, and then we kick it into another gear sometimes when we're out there, because the louder the fans are and the more they're into the match, whether they're booing you, they're cheering you, we feed off of that. So I mean, I did it at Fusion a week or so ago. The crowd got kind of quiet because Gonzo and I were doing some technical stuff. So Gonzo was face down on the mat. I sat on his back, and I looked at the fans and I went, "I already got paid. I don't have to do a goddamn thing for the rest of the night unless you guys make some noise." And a couple of people started to cheer, and I just kind of sat there for a little longer, let it stew. Other people would start to cheer. I'm like, "All right, now let's get up and do something, Gonzo." We got up, and I've done it once. I've done it another time too. And Donovan Morgan is the one who showed it to me. He did it to me when we were in a match, and so the fans with the internet, everything, they know what's going on. They play their part, and yeah, if they're gonna give us shit all the time, we're gonna call them out when they're not playing their part. So I don't have a problem calling them out. If you're going to call me out, if I make a mistake, hey, you made a mistake. Cheer. Let's make some noise. Let's get this thing going. The better, the more you guys cheer, the harder we're going to work. If you're not feeling it, then we're not feeling it, and we're just going to say screw it, let's go home.
Yeah, that is an excellent observation. We had an outside show at CSW. That was the day that we took the title off you, and there were a couple of fans, and you're obviously hurt. You know, we know that this is a real injury, and you're going to be gone for a while. And they were relentless. And the refs came out, and you're getting ready to climb the. I mean, that is some of the greatest fan heat I've ever seen.
Yeah. So that one fan, Donovan, he came to a Berwyn show and got in my face. We were just on each other constantly.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the one night after him and I were just getting heated, I get home and I look at my phone and there's a message on Messenger and I open it up and it was him. And he goes, "Hey, just want to say I'm really happy you're back, man. I hope you don't take offense." Well, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm so glad you said that." I'm like, "Thank you so much for being my verbal punching bag out there. I love when I get to do that with somebody." I'm like, "If I can just bring it from now on, we'll have fun." And he was like, "Oh, fuck, cool, great." And so, and we're friends now. You know, we talk every once in a while. He'll hang out after the CSW shows and we'll sit and bullshit for a bit. And then because he has to go up to Green Bay a lot for stuff. So a couple of times I've seen him up at other shows up in Wisconsin and things like that too. So yeah, he's a real cool guy. Actually, it's funny because it was really heated. Like we were gonna fight.
God damn. I mean, we thought we were we're just back from COVID, and I'm like, they're gonna shut this shit down. He's gonna kill a fan.
Yeah.
But
so, yeah, no, he's a good dude.
That was pretty amazing. That was a pretty amazing. So Friday night, in Franklin Park, you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. If that's not sweet enough, you are one of the participants in the Ring of Destiny match. And it is there's a lot of people in this match. This is going to be one of those matches that could go down as a spectacle unlike any other. Starts off with two men in the ring. Somebody comes in every couple of minutes until it's the final four, and then it's a fatal four-way. It's a crazy match made by our useless general manager just for power and all that stuff. But it is a showcase of the best. I mean, you've got people in there that are repping at NWA. You've got, the Hate Keepers in there. Boz is in the match. It's Cypher. It's really a cast of characters that have been big the entire year here in one match to see who's going to be the number one contender. Are you more excited about this match because it's just so big? Because I know you're a wrestler at heart and you love the matches and you love the accolades too. So I mean, this is your night, and that's amazing.
Yeah, it's I hate multi-person matches to begin with, but aside from that, seeing Shelly win at the last show and knowing I'm on my way out kind of sparked something in me that I haven't had a shot at the title. I had the one shot against Axel. Before that, the last time I had a shot at the title was the death match with Brubaker. So it had been a long stretch. And so it's kind of I don't want to insult too many people by saying this, but it kind of seems like the heavyweight title at CSW has lost its spark, really kind of an afterthought to me and the fans, I think, over the last year and a half or so. And I don't point the finger at Axel or Conan or anything like that. It doesn't seem like it's a focal point, really. It doesn't seem like you got people really trying to gun for it, and I want to fix that. So if I'm going to be going out soon, I want one last run, and I know I'm not going to just turn around and they're going to say, "Here, just because you're in the Hall of Fame, you get a title shot. No, we're not going to do that. And it took 3 years to get the shot at Axel. And I had to win a match to get that. So I don't have a problem if I have to win this to get another shot or do something to get another shot before I'm done and try and have one last run and put some respect back on the belt.
Wow, that is amazing because you are going up against the best of the best. You know, Marche's in that match, Boz is in that match. I mean, this is a who's who of what's happening right now. Miller might be the most hated person in CSW. He's in that match. You've got Cody James. Will it be Cody Country or will it be Magic Inc. Cody James? It looks like they're advertising that we might have his alter ego in this match. Cypher with hands like frying pans. And we watched him basically chop Joey Avalon to death, which was very amusing to me. And then you've got Haykeepers, Tupu, Marston, Mario Pardua, who is someone that you know very well, Adam Stallion. I mean, this is a match of the who's who, and with you in it, and you're thinking that you want one more run. So we're not just getting Vic Capri, we are getting the Ice Pick on a mission. And I think that should scare everybody in that match.
Like I said, I feel guilty and I feel like I phoned it in with the injuries and how I've been feeling over the last few months and things like that. So it's time to step it up. You know, I want one last run. I want one last shot. And the only way I'm going to get it is to just kind of go back to basics and just be me again and fight through whatever pain or nagging injuries I have. So that's all I can really do. I mean, I only had the meniscus cleaned out. I still have a torn ACL in my right knee. So that's why I'm still wearing the brace, just to try and get some support. But no bullshit. It's not a crutch. You know, I'm not going to lean on that and say, hey, that's why I lost. You know, I want to come out and be me, and I'm going to do whatever I can to be me, and try and put on a show.
The storyline that is just developed.
Yeah.
Vic Capri,
well, I mean,
pulling out all the stops for one more shot at the title. It just writes itself.
So, well, there's more to it than just that. I mean, so I was going to say this, you know, on Friday. The last time my immediate family, my mother, sister, my dad, saw me wrestle was 1999. My daughter's the only one that's come to see me wrestle, you know, since. And recently, my cousin's now husband, he was coming out to Greenway with some friends and things like that. And, you know, he was a big wrestling fan, some infighting with cousins and stuff like that. So I stepped up and offered to officiate their wedding. And, you know, I've become really close with them. And so it's the first time since 99 that I'll actually have family at the show outside of my daughter. So it's I'm gonna do what I can to put on a show.
What a night Friday night is going to be in Franklin Park for Vic Capri. Being inducted, Ring of Destiny, family. I mean, it's like somebody's writing a Hallmark movie here, you know, in all the right ways, because it's like it just makes the gravity of that match and what's going on that bigger. And being on commentary, you have given me great stories to tell. So thank you for that, sir. I appreciate that very much.
No problem.
It's always great to have a little insight into what's going on behind someone's mind as they plow through the challenges to get the brass ring. So those of us on commentary that like to hear from the wrestlers, we appreciate the little tidbits you give us. It makes us better at our jobs, which we like to be. Now, before we let you go, I have to take exception with one thing. I feel like somebody got to your Facebook page and edited that video because that is not what I remember. So I think maybe somebody got in there and photoshopped it because we are at 92 tables and climbing, my friend. I will, as long as I draw breath and talk about your matches on commentary, I've made it my goal in life to add a table each time I talk about it. Pretty soon, you're going to be at 100 tables. We're getting there.
We're getting close. The best is because we put an old ring canvas over all of it, just to kind of conceal it. So why would two tables be stacked on top of each other over by the balcony?
Yes, you're right. Why would 92 tables be stacked on top of
we covered it with an old canvas. And what ended up happening is I went in and kind of went ass first, and everything folded up, and my knees were in my face, and I was stuck.
That is painfully evident watching that video that something didn't go 100% right.
Yeah, because the bottom table broke, but the trim around the outside kind of stayed, and the legs stayed. So I just folded up in half, and the security had to pull me out.
You even popped Ricky the Dragon Steamboat when you got thrown off that balcony, and that is something that I enjoyed very much because he was at the merch tables by us when that match was happening, and you could see his reaction because we're watching him as much as we're watching the ring because I'm like, that's fucking Ricky Steamboat. I used to watch him when I was young. And
yeah, but he was Ricky Steamboat was probably going, "Why the fuck would you do that?"
That's exactly right. Why would you do that? Exactly. That is exactly what was happening. Oh man, that is again, it was my introduction into wrestling. And that again, that was one of those moments in time that will be forever etched in my memory. And that's whenever I hear your name, the street fight and the tables, instantly I am teleported at two moments in time. And that's the mark of an artist. Because if your name is mentioned and you can teleport somebody to a certain action and time, then you have done your job as a professional athlete, wrestler, and storytelling. And you've done that for me. So thank you.
Well, thank you for saying that. I mean, the compliments I get, I never feel like they're deserved, but I appreciate every single one of them. And I appreciate all the fans and all the men and women in the locker rooms and things like that. So when somebody comes to me when they're excited about wrestling and it's about wrestling me, it's just it kind of takes me back. And as much as they're nervous, then I get nervous. It's like, oh shit, man. Like you said, you got to live up to that. And but to have those moments and be able to give those moments to people is something I never thought I would do when I started wrestling. I didn't think that I would become who I've become and be known by people, and the respect that I've learned that I have, so many people have for me. So I feel kind of in awe and undeserving at times. So, but that's kind of just me.
Man, Red, does it get any better than this, really?
Well, yeah, you're still going to talk to Shelly possibly if she.
Well, we're hoping. Like I said, Shelly's got shoot job issues, so
Yeah.
if we get a chance to talk to her, it might be for a few moments at the end. But
I mean, it doesn't, and I mean, the sad part is I've narrowed down the year, and I know the month, and I'm trying to find like this match. I really am, like. Because now, I guess for nostalgic reasons, I want to go back and see. It's Thanksgiving season, so I want to see turkeys fly and peas fly. And I'm sure I know it's upstairs in my room, buried in my closet. And it's like, do I really feel like going to pull it out? But I will. You know,
J-Rep, I'm sure could tell you which show it was.
no. So I believe again because. So I want to say it was Survival of the Fittest. And I know so first of all, I know it's November 2012. So that I definitely know. Again, the name of the show, not so much. And I don't know if it is out there as far as because I mean, Dreamwave has uploaded a lot of shows, but they haven't.
Oops, sorry.
Now we know who let the dogs out.
Right.
That musical
'Cause
question has now been answered.
There,
Because I'm
for
sitting
a
there
second.
like, what? Yeah, because again, that started my run with, yes, it is. It is called No Escape. It is on IWTV. It's called No Escape War Games. It is there. And the final match is the Revolution. Austin, well, that's the night before, the show before. But that's the show that I turned on Marche and said, fuck you. You know, which seems to be a history of us, right? Right. But Vic, so let me just say this, and I've
Before you
said
give him the roses, Red, is it true? I've heard a rumor that C Red might be in Franklin Park this Friday night. Any truth to that? Because I only been asking you for a calendar year.
ask Vic.
I got a feeling he'll be there.
All right. Finally.
Look,
It took Vic Capri getting
it's gonna
inducted
be a-
to
it's
get your
gonna
ass
be-
there.
There is going to be a small Windy City reunion, so you know Red's going to have to show up. He's got to see everybody. So yeah, I'm sure Red will be there.
I mean, with also this being my final hurrah, I have to be there for Vic. Again, I love you so much, and the respect I have for you is out the door. All these years, I've never seen anybody bust their ass the way you have. And even those few times when you have been injured, you fucking come back 10 times better than you did before you left. But more importantly, I love you as a man and a friend. When people don't understand that I'm just a fucking guy from the South Side who never thought I could fucking do this. And it is people like you that took me under your wing and told me what to do and not to do, how to act, not how to act, how to interact with people, and how to be, more importantly, professional in this business. I owe you a gratitude thanks. I first of all, I knew about this months ago. I probably knew about it a year ago, to be honest. And I already had in my calendar, like, there's no fucking way I'm not gonna be there for Vic. So, of course, I'm going to be there Friday night. It is the least I can do for someone who gave me so much and they didn't have to. You never had to speak to me. You never looked down on me like, oh, okay, you just a fucking manager. Like, most people forgot that I, again, trained at Windy City. I know how to fucking wrestle, but I just figured, hey, I can get more heat being the manager talking on the fucking mic. Okay, that's the easy part. Shit, that's cool. I ain't got to go out there and get my head knocked off. But you never looked down on me. And you always, gave me a kind word. If I wasn't feeling it that night, Red, the hell's wrong with you? Let's go. Like, and that's all it would take for me to snap out of whatever funk I was in. I have seen you with your daughter, so I know You've been an awesome fucking father. I know how you are with the boys. You are an awesome mentor. I cannot thank you enough for everything you have given me. Again, if it wasn't people like you, I wouldn't have stuck around for 20 fucking years. I wouldn't. I probably would have fucked, oh, you know what? This is a bunch of bullshit. I'm fucking gone. But you are one of the good guys. You know, you are one of the guys that, hell, we both fucking walking out the door at the same time. But you would be one of the guys that I fucking miss.
Yeah.
And and when I go back over 20 years and all the people I've met and all the people that I know, and there's a handful that I can say I fucking will miss.
Yeah.
And you are on that list. Thank you for everything. I love you dearly. I will forever be here. Shit, I don't think anybody popped harder when you did make it to fucking AEW than me. But I was in the fucking house by my goddamn self. So I'm a red just thinking I'm fucking down here going crazy, yelling at the fucking computer. So, but I love you, bro.
I love you too, Red.
And I appreciate everything you've done. And it is like honor and a privilege to be there for you on Friday.
Thank you, man. Your words are too kind, honestly. I mean, I don't have any response for what you said and the emotion and everything from it. I'm at a complete loss for words. So all I can say is thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. That was extremely touching, and I felt all of it.
Well, as long as you ain't touching me back, I want no
that had
part.
to be the comment. That had to be it.
Hey,
poor
no
thing.
part. Rion, you popped on. Rion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I found something. Give me a minute.
Uh-oh, he's good. Also, before Rion shows what he's got, I've also shared commentary with Vic Capri a couple of times. Anytime you want to come on commentary, I would bounce anybody off my table to have you on. You are incredibly good at it. Though you say you don't like it and you don't think you're good at it, you are remarkably good at it. And I would do commentary with you any day.
Well, I've kind of, at first, nobody ever wanted me to talk. They thought I couldn't cut a promo or I couldn't talk. And then as I got older, it got to be more of, I don't think they want to hear what I have to say.
Precisely why I love it, because you never know what you're going to say. And I love that.
Yeah, because it like I pitched a promo, a heel promo when I came back at CSW, and they're like, "Oh no, you can't say that." Why not? Like, no, you can't say that. But I want to say it, and it's just some things. It's like I fuck is in like every other sentence in my normal life. So that's the other thing is PG. No, it's just had to cut a promo. I was all intense. When I came out, I was going to wrestle Connor to challenge Connor Hopkins, and I'm like, you mother, it's a PG show, and I can't say what I want to say, but then I almost did it again, and that was my promo.
Oh, that's amazing!
I almost dropped 2 F-bombs during the promo, and it's a PG show, and I had to catch myself. And the entire crowd popped because I was so mad and so frustrated. And I'm like, I just want to say fuck.
God, I want to see you fight Connor Hopkins. I love that kid. That kid has got it.
He's a damn good kid. I've worked him twice. Once at Dreamwave and once at Zawa. Zawa a couple years ago.
Yeah, all Christian Rose's Coyotes are really entertaining.
Very talented too.
Yeah.
I can't say enough for Braden and Berna. You know, those two when Shelly and I wrestled him, the two of them at Dreamwave in the mixed tag, super professional on the spot with everything they did. You know, Rose has done a great job with the Coyotes, and you know he used to overdo things, and now that he gets it a little more, things start to click, and you realize I don't have to do so much. He's learned that, and now he's just lights out, and I've had 4 or 5 matches with him now, and I have loved every match. You know, it flows well, and just he's hitting it. He'll probably say he was in his prime before when he was a Dreamwave with the championship. Personally, I think now he gets it, and he's on point with everything he does. So it's super talented. I think he's more in his prime now than he was then.
He is certainly fun to work with. I work with the Coyotes at Rocket Pro Wrestling. And for Kevin, who's watching probably this show at Rocket Pro, we have a Coyote problem now, and Christian Rose is broken. I think maybe Vic Capri could fix Christian Rose. So that's just my personal opinion there, Mr. Kevin. Leon has found the pictures of the 92 tables. And like I said, if you look at that shot, there are conceivably 92 tables under that tarp. So I am totally vindicated here by Rion and his good detective work.
Yeah.
Look at it. And what they don't know is that balcony is 35 feet looking over the gymnasium floor. So you're seeing tables 92 through 87 at the top there. It goes way down, kind of looks like the Sears Tower a little bit.
2 tables.
No, 2. That's not 2. That's a lot of tables.
Actually, it was 1 table and the 2 chairs.
There's stuck in the middle of it right there.
It was 1 table, 2 chairs, and a door, actually.
We're never going to know, truthfully, what is under that tarp, and forever it will be the great wrestling lore that it is. Vic, we thank you so much you've gone way more than you needed to tonight, and we appreciate you sharing your stories and your experiences with us. We all love you here on this show for what you've meant to each of us in our careers. And if there's a legacy that you have, it's that you've touched so many people in great ways and made them better at their jobs and made them better at their craft. And I hear this from the people you've trained and the people that you've worked with. When we're backstage at Rocket Pro and we're talking about things, your name comes up a bunch of times. Same thing at Frontline. Wherever I go, the conversation, we're talking about wrestling, and your name always finds its way in it. That's because you have had the kind of career, maybe you didn't do stuff on television in conventional means, but what you've meant to the people around you is worth more than gold to me, because, whenever you ask somebody, hey, what do you think about Vic? It's the same answer. That is one amazing guy. And in this business, that doesn't happen very often. There's somebody always looking to bury you instead of raise you up, but you have left a trail of people that do nothing but love and respect you. And going into the CSW Hall of Fame is well-earned, well-deserved, and I can't wait to watch the spectacle that happens this Friday night, because every cheer you get Friday night, you have spent 25 years earning every one of them. And, in many ways, without you, like Red said, maybe we wouldn't even be here. Without that match at PCW, falling through all those tables, maybe I don't stay in this business. So, and a lot of people will say, damn you for having this guy be in this business this long. So it's a double-edged sword there, I'm sure.
Now people are going to bury me for keeping you around.
That's it, and that will happen. There are the detractors indeed. But man, thank you so much for being on this show ahead of the big spectacle, and we wish you nothing but the best wherever the rest of your journey takes you. You have done an hour and a half, which is yeoman's work. So even if we don't get Shelly tonight, you being as candid and personable as you have been tonight is just a testament to who you are and what you mean to this business. So we thank you so very much.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. Anytime. I know we've done this a couple times, and I, like I said, I'm overwhelmed with the respect people give me and all that stuff. It like I said, I've thought I was doing this alone for 25 years because my family hates it. But I've really come to realize I'm not. I'm not alone. I have all of you. I have all the fans. Everybody that I've shared a locker room with, not even shared a ring with, which is the locker room. So I haven't been alone. I may keep myself a little secluded but this just because of who I am. But um, no, I thank everybody. I thank absolutely everyone that I've come in contact through wrestling. Um, I was the shy kid. I fucking didn't talk to anybody.
Damn.
So when I started wrestling, it changed my life, and I owe that all of you. As much as you people say they owe things to me, I owe even more to all of you. So the appreciation is more than mutual.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the one and only Ice Pick Vic Capri. Come on out to Franklin Park this Friday night. Watch him get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And then maybe, just maybe, watch him roll through the best and brightest that CSW has to offer and get another shot at the prize, because now there's new fire. And we'll definitely talk about that a lot on commentary Friday night. I promise you that. Vic, we're going to let you go. You go ahead and log off. We appreciate you spending as much time with us as you did. Even if Shelly doesn't make it, man, you have made our night. You made Red cry. Anybody that makes Red cry, it's a home run for us.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. That's the one and only Ice Pick, Vic Capri. There can be only one. Catch him this Friday night. Thank you again, my friend. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right. That is Vic Capri. He's going to log off, and we're going to say nice things about him. Cactus Rack, I'm not putting you on the spot, but welcome to the show. How are you, Cactus?
I am here. How are you?
You are persevering, and I respected the request you made of me. I was just about, I'm like, I'm going to look at my messages just to make sure, because I was just about to yield it to you, and you'd said, please don't put me on the spot. So fortunately, I was able to pump the
before I was gonna say, I have been very tapped out of wrestling with everything that's been going on with me. So please don't sit me on the spot. Try to come up with nice
we're
things
gonna rapid fire. We're going to rapid fire through the CSW card real quick. And then I want to spend some time talking about what we saw Saturday night in Homewood. So Red, let's pick these matches. You're going to be there. So maybe you'll even get to jump on commentary and help me out a little bit. You just never know, man. We're a team. When you're there and I'm there, we're a team. Fuck Stampane. No, I love Stampane. I'm just kidding. But we're going to take big business and show him what a real manager is about.
All right. Well, I got to focus. So I was too busy watching Survival of the Fittest.
Watching the Cranberries get jammed in.
No, that's the crazy part. I guess because that segment was so long, they cut it. And it's not on the DVD. It's not on. It might be on the DVD as a hidden thing, but it's not as far as on IWTV. So that sucks.
Too bad. I really wanted to see that. Boy, Vic was great tonight. So candid and so giving. You never know what you're going to get. And tonight he was extraordinary. So well done by you. The flowers were on point. Amazing work. Friday night, Second City Showdown number 3. This is our WrestleMania season finale. This is it. We talked a little bit about the Ring of Destiny match. Now, before this episode, my pick to win this match was very different than it is right now.
Okay.
I had Tupu winning this match, and the combatants are Boz, Pardua, Marche Rocket, Eric Schultz, Chris Miller, Adam Stallion, Tupu, Vic Capri, Jay Marston, Cypher, and Cody James. Probably not Cody country. Looks like we're going to get our first experience with the Barker live at CSW, which should be interesting. Now, my original thought was maybe Tupu had an advantage in this match because he has been on a rocket ride to the top of late. I thought maybe it would make sense for him to go over and take this match. But after listening to Vic Capri say he's ready to reclaim his title opportunity, Red, I don't know how we pick against the Ice Pick because that's my pick. Capri wins in a walk.
I can't agree because of one person.
Oh, come on. Don't give me that shit.
That
the
one
man you
person.
betrayed, the man
I'm no, not Shay.
Oh, you weren't picking Shay?
No.
Who are you picking?
I'm picking Steel.
Get the fuck right out of here.
So here's
Do
why.
I even know you? What?
Here's why.
You're picking that elitist son of a bitch?
I'm telling you, you asked my pick. Now listen to my reasoning.
I haven't muted you in a long time on this show.
And you won't.
Oh my God.
Here is why.
Here is not the funny part.
It's not. But
you're broken. You cried too much. You're broken inside.
I'm not.
Vic Capri broke you.
You need to listen to reason.
Oh, man.
Be quiet. You're doing too much of this right
now. Got you. I got you.
Understand that, honestly, we can make a debate and we can spend 3 more hours on why each one of these men would win, right?
Yes.
But who runs CSW now?
Mr. Steele.
Who has pulled bullshit out of their ass for the past few months?
You want to know the bullshit with TJ Steele? That dude made me marry him on Saturday.
I just asked who?
TJ.
So, isn't it funny that he put himself in this match, right? So nobody can call bullshit because he could instantly give himself a shot, right?
Yeah.
But people will call bullshit. But if he won the Ring of Destiny match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could call bullshit. I'm not saying he's going to beat Boz and pin Boz. I'm not going to say he's going to submit Ice Pick. I'm not going to. No, he's going to pull some bullshit. And he is going to win by hook or by crook. I want it to happen? No, because so just like you picked Tupu, right?
I picked Vic.
Okay. And again, so let's be honest, the first 3 I have loyalty to. And I'm just going the way the picture is stacked. Boz, somebody that trained. Purdue, somebody I managed in NWA. Marche Rocket, my guy for life.
Soul Toucher.
So, right. So I would instantly go to those 3, right? And then we've got, I don't give a fuck about Schultz. I don't give a fuck about Miller. I don't know too much about the other guy. Tupu, I told you I'm loving this new Tupu. And of course I love Vic. I don't know the other guy. Cypher, he's fucking nuts. And the Barker, I can't stand his ass after he tried to fucking take out my new favorite tag team. So with that all being said, again, I could have easily picked my top 3, but again, with Steele in there, I don't trust his ass. I don't trust Steele more than I trust a hemorrhoid. So therefore, unfortunately, I believe he's going to win. It's not going to be fair, but he's going to somehow pin somebody and walk away with the Rings of Destiny.
He has let ego and pride run away and take away his mental faculties. Rion has taught us many lessons about ego and pride, and TJ Steele is going to fall victim to that. Vic Capri will win the Ring of Destiny tournament. Other matches that are happening. Tag team champions, Team 6A, have issued an open challenge, and I'm sure that really agitated Big Mood, who are probably not. It doesn't look like they're participating in Second City Showdown. At least we haven't gotten anything yet. I don't know. Team Sexay has had a strange run as the champions. They came out dressed in black socks that covered their whole bodies. As TJ Steele's newest signing, they had a strange name, and obviously it was them in disguise. It was not even. It was kind of ridiculous, actually. So their run has been a little unusual, unconventional, shall we say, and anybody could show up. I mean, we could get blunt force trauma from NWA seems to have a revolving door around here, and blunt force trauma and Aaron Stevens could show up and say, excuse me, boys, we're going to take those titles from you.
Hey, could be the ARC.
Could be the ARC. We don't know. We don't know how many people are in the ARC.
Could be the Soul Touchers.
Oh, that would be great. That would be cool. That would be pretty awesome. In a triple threat match for the Metro Division title, we've got Rafael Quintero, who is one of the fastest rising stars I have ever seen come through CSW. What he has accomplished in a short period of time has been nothing short of majestic. And then you've got Iniestra, your defending Metro Division champion. And then we've got the return to CSW of Samurai de Sol, a.k.a. Kalisto. Damn. You want to tell me how Kalisto doesn't walk away with that title?
TJ Steele.
Are you respecting him? Are you afraid of him? Why do you keep messing
It's not, again, Steve, when you talk shenanigans over the past, how long have we known each other?
Long time.
So who knows bullshit better than me?
That's fair.
So again, first of all, and again, I get the young guy, Quintero, is the hot up and comer. He's setting shit on fire. I get that. I can't stand Inestra, so the hell with his ass.
Been on quite a roll.
And I am personal friends with Samurai. So of course I would want, again, my heart says Samurai, right? But I know still, again, I guarantee you, if I bring my playbook and I sit at commentary with you, I can probably pick out the play that's gonna happen, and you'd be like, "Damn, Red, yeah." So again,
I don't like this. I don't want to be a part of that.
I don't either, and I'm going to be there. But again, still, until multiple people get tired of his bullshit and beat him and everybody that's affiliated with his ass, it's gonna keep going, because he at this point, think about it. Think of all the humiliation he's put you through and everybody else. Again, until the entire fucking locker room stands up and put y'all foots in his ass, it's gonna keep happening. And I don't see it happening this Friday.
That's fair. Okay, moving on. The Four Corners of Deathmatch. Joey Mayberry finally gets a one-on-one opportunity against Doom Montgomery. Now, we remember Doom, he's kin Killian. So the animosity and the craziness between these two has been building over the last months. Of Four Corners of Deathmatch.
Four Corners of Pain.
Is it Four Corners of Pain or Four Corners of Death?
The graphic says Pain.
It does say Pain. Well, let's just change that then. Yeah, it's good that I know these things now. I'm old. I'm older than you, so I get a free pass every now and again. Four Corners of Pain. I don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means?
Fuck no, but I'm sure it's gonna be painful.
And the wheel is gonna be spun.
Either way it goes, I think Mayberry I'm not gonna say he's gonna get full retribution, but I think he's going to get some satisfaction, if that's a word. I don't know.
Satisfaction
Satisfactions.
or stratisfaction.
Hey, we all need stratisfaction.
I also
Well,
think Joe Mayberry wins.
you don't touch nobody's valet, best friend, BFF, all that good shit.
We all saw what happened when the Honky Tonk Man and the Hart Foundation put their hands on Elizabeth. That created the mega power. So you don't touch a valet. We learned that very early on in this business.
Well, Hogan found that out too.
Well, that's fair. That did happen. You had lust in your eyes.
Wouldn't you?
Just a little bit. Mayberry, I believe, wins as well. A match that was just announced today that I'm very excited about. Lizard Man, Nathan Nile, taking on Aaron Arsenal. Nile has been much like Rafael Quintero, is a homegrown CSW talent. And he has been in many a Futures Royal, many a dark match. He is getting his first opportunity on the main stage, and the fans love Lizard Man. He is a hot commodity, homegrown CSW superstar, has developed quite a fan base in Franklin Park. And he is taking on a man that I know very well from Frontline Pro Wrestling in Aaron Arsenal. I love Nathan Nile. He is terrific talent. But Aaron Arsenal, people have been sleeping on this guy entirely too long. This is one of the highest ring IQ people I see working today. And up at Frontline, him and Coda Jacobs are title holders, and they are virtually unbeatable. And Arsenal is a spectacular talent. He is a magician in that ring. So CSW has got a real treat on their hands, and I'm not sure they even know it, because they've seen Aaron Arsenal in the pre-show stuff, but this will be the first time they've seen him in a main show event match. This is a match to watch. If you're sitting there in the crowd, Red, and you're like, who the hell is this? What the hell is happening? I want to talk to you about this match after the show is over, because I think this is a match that's going to open people's eyes wide on both of these guys. This is a sleeper match. This could be a match of the night.
Okay, well, since I've never seen either one of these, I'm not gonna pick. But I am gonna make a prediction. That Lizard Man will join Turtle, and next year they will be called the Reptiles.
Now that would be very cool. And I'm sure Turtle just popped because he tends to watch this show the morning after. Not the morning after Rion and Max, but the morning after, which is tomorrow. I would have a hard time picking this match too. My heart wants to go with the Lizard Man, but my head knows exactly what Aaron Arsenal can do. So I think I might have to pick Aaron Arsenal in this case. The man has got talent coming out of every bone in his body. The Hate Keeper, the final implosion, perhaps. The championship match. Conan Lycan, Shane Hollister. Damn. How is Suge going to beat the Land Shark? That's my question to you.
See, Suge has been around.
The answer is he's not.
See, I can't say that.
Lycan retains his title. That's my pick.
So here's the thing. I like the fact that Lycan is standing on his own 2 feet. He doesn't need the rest of the group. And he's made that clear for the past few months that he doesn't need them to keep his title. He can keep his title on his own. So honestly, I'm going to say Lycan. I'm going to say by DQ, because when he has Suge down and he's getting ready to deliver some devastating finisher or just go for the cover, here comes the rest of the Hate Keepers.
You might be right about that, but I think Lycan finds a way to win.
I mean, he wins by DQ just and keeps his title, but I don't think it's not without cause.
Not without incident. One of those men will walk away as the champion and will be fighting the Ring of Destiny winner at the first show of the year in 2024. Of course, we talked a lot about Vic being inducted. That'll be a feature, a moment. A lot of the Windy City guys are coming out. It's always a Windy City party. I mean, last year when Willie got inducted, it was a who's who of Windy City gathering in that ring for those pitchers. It was really impressive to see. It'll be no different Friday night. So if you love the history of this business in our area, you have to see it, because there will be some names of the past that you should never forget honoring Vic tomorrow on Friday night. So don't miss that. And then finally, in what is sure to be the main event of the evening, we have Shelly Benson's first title defense as champion. And it's not just a singles match. It is a 5-way ladder match. So she wins her first title in dramatic fashion over Sierra. And now she has to defend her title in a ladder match against one of the strongest female rosters of any place in this business. You've got Maggie Lee, who flies higher than just about anybody I see in this business right now. The devious Heather Reckless, who has been making her presence felt at CSW for many years now. You have got Missa Kate, Chicago's sweetheart, NWA Tag Team Champion once upon a time. She is a hot commodity in this business, and she wants her title back. And then there is Lily La Pescadita, who is a hot up-and-coming homegrown CSW talent, and she has all the talent in the world. This is not an easy title match for the champion. I mean, this is talking about a baptism of fire. I hope Vic showed her every little thing, because she's going to need it and then some in this match. But there's something special when Shelly comes out and the way that crowd embraces her. So she feeds off the fans better than anybody I've ever seen. And if these fans have their way, Shelly will find a way to retain her title. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. Any one of these women could walk out of here as the champion. And my head says Missa Kate gets her title back. But everything I feel about CSW and Shelly's story makes me pick Shelly Benson to retain her title.
Well, damn, for once tonight, we agree. The same thing.
And those that watch the show tonight, obviously you've heard the term card subject to change. Obviously, Shelly had to stay later at work, so we're not going to get a chance to talk to her tonight. But we'll get her in the future. She'll come on when she has the chance. Maybe we can talk to her at the beginning of the year, and we can talk about this very match. But, you know, Shelly would be here if she could. And, you know, shit happens sometimes. What can we do? All right. Moving on real quick, because I don't want to go till 10 o'clock tonight. I didn't get a chance to see everything Saturday night as the Chicago Knockouts ended their season with the championship bout. Both Rion and Rachel were there, and Rachel was a coach for the Horrific Haunters, who ended up being the champion as they beat the Retro Rumblers in what I can only describe. I got there at about the 9-minute mark of the second half. And what I saw is different than anything else I've seen at the Knockouts this far. The level of physicality and speed and focus was like I've never seen before. Plus, I have never felt that building shake like it shook Saturday night. That is the best crowd I have ever seen in Homewood for anything ever. It was a testament to the Knockouts being the best entertainment value in Homewood, bar none. And the after show, which this was a complete surprise and blew me away. 90s supergroup Local H played a live set after the Knockouts bout ended. So you got roller derby and rock and roll. What a night. Let's start with Rachel. I mean, Rachel, I know you didn't get to compete because you're still on the mend from the procedures you've had, but you obviously did some good coaching because the Haunters eked out the win in very dramatic fashion. What are your opinions of Saturday night in Homewood?
It was probably one of the most vicious bouts I've ever been a part of. Um, it was very no holds barred. All stops were pulled out. People were getting handsy. Harkening back to the very first title bout where the Rumblers won by flat out cheating. They were cheating again, and this time it did not work out for them. So yeah, the Haunters managed to, I think the last time the Haunters played the Rumblers, they won by 1 point. This time they won by 2 points. It was, I think it came down at the end of it to the cohesion of the team and the communication of the team. It came to a point where the Haunters were just almost telepathically communicating with each other about where to go and what to do. And not always so telepathically. I didn't coach so much as I stood on the sidelines and screamed at them where the jammer was at all times, so that they knew if the opposing jammer was coming up on them, if they knew that their jammer was coming up on them, and what they needed to do to either prevent the jammer from getting through or get their jammer through. So I think it just came down to the fact that the Haunters worked so well together. It was almost kind of like anything the Rumblers tried to do to get ahead, including, every so often the jammer would decide to do blocking instead, and just to hold the Haunters jammer back. But if there's, I'm not going to give away all of the Haunters secrets, because there is a little secret playbook, but there were some plays that were enacted that I saw in practice, and I got to take part of in practice, that I saw happen that kept the Rumblers at bay. And I think there was a very well-deserved win for the Haunters. They put everything out there on the track. There were people in the comments on the knockout pages talking about the Rumblers were gonna win, the Rumblers were gonna whoop the Haunters, and the cheering section was gonna be, the Rumblers cheering section was gonna be false. The Haunters cheering section killed it. The Rumblers even had a drum, and they could not drown out the Haunters cheering section. So that's what I've got to say.
It was the electricity was amazing. It was really amazing. And I believe Beetlejuice left her soul on the track.
Yes.
What a performance. And something that I noticed that I never saw before, I felt like Ricky Ricochet was doing the quarterback spy from football on Crimson Vixen, because every time Crimson was out there, it seemed like Ricochet was making her life very difficult and gunning for her. And
yeah, she made her life miserable.
It was really impressive, that kind of strategy, because obviously Crimson is known for her speed and what she does on that track, but to have someone as talented as Ricochet out there just being the person that was going to stop her from playing her game, I think that might have been one of the things that gave the Haunters the edge. That strategy, having someone designed to limit the amount of points that she would get on a given jam. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I thought that the Rumblers would probably win because of the wall that Eurothrash, Loretta Sin, and Sugar Smacks make, that is very difficult to penetrate. And it was showcased quite a few times when I was there. That wall it kept Beater stifled a couple of jams, no doubt about it. But boy, Ricochet on Crimson Vixen, was a battle that I enjoyed watching the entire time I was there.
I don't know if it was a battle so much as it was a slaughter.
It was, yeah, you're right. And I've never seen anybody really take Crimson off her game. I've seen people bother. I mean, the rivalry between Crimson and Marley is well documented in the annals, and obviously, your rivalry with many people is well documented. But boy, what a match! So many great stories. I just wish I had gotten there sooner so I could have been more a part of the show. But boy, was I glad that I got a chance to see it end. What an amazing night. What a bar has been set for the 2024 season.
Indeed.
Rion, what are your thoughts?
Of like all of it, or just the
Do you have
certain
anything
thing?
to add that Rachel and I didn't cover? I mean, you were a fight ref, so you were hip deep in it all night.
Yeah, well, that's debatable. I was more of a fan than I was a fight ref. The Bro Bros were there. It worked out accordingly. They kept things at bay when they did see them. At one point, I had to like point out a fight, what's happening in front of them.
Sounds about right.
But as far as what you said, as far as the energy in the room, that was hands down the most chaotic crowd that I think I've ever seen in Homewood for a wrestling event or for a derby about, like, just period. It was just as a whole. Some of the things I can tell you from watching it, and this is just looking at everyone and trying to stay unbiased. The way that the Rumblers came out, they were playing bully ball. Like they knew what the matchups were and they knew what they needed to do. And the Haunters in the beginning, they were getting beaten down like badly. Marley.
No, false.
Let me finish. Please let me finish. Please let me finish.
You better do a quick 180 there.
Okay, I can do 180s on this. You know what? I'm not even. You know what? I'll go. I almost got upset. Let me explain. There are certain jams that took place in the very beginning where Beetlejuice was able to go around Crimson. First three, she was fine. And then she got knocked because she was not necessarily herself at that point in time. They were going specifically at certain jammers accordingly. Marley was having clean runs. She had 3 clean runs to where no one touched her. And then the 4th one came about, and she ended up running into me because they were able to knock her down. In the very beginning, it was very, very, they didn't have to worry about it because they couldn't catch them. And then they started playing bully ball accordingly to the point where Beetlejuice ended up being a blocker at one point. Like they had to adjust. Like, yeah, everything worked out accordingly, and the Haunters won. But there was a point in time where they adjusted, and the Haunters were getting to a point where they were like, we need to fix something and fast. Like, it was hands down the most physical bout that I've ever seen in any derby bout, not just from CKO, but just period. From a local scene, I have never seen so much physicality immediately. Like, when it gets to a point where I can see someone like Crimson get knocked on her ass several times, something's up. Because very rarely do you see her get knocked down, and she was knocked down a lot because of the adjustments that the Haunters made. It was for me, watching it as a fan, it was a great bout. But there were a lot of adjustments that had to be made because it went from being speed and technique to overall bully ball. Like, it got ugly really fast. Is that a good assessment overall?
It's a good assessment, but I think something that needed to be addressed and I did bring it up a couple of times at the bout, is that there were people on the Rumblers that weren't playing by the rules. And like I said, hearkening back to the first time the Rumblers won, flat out cheating, they went right back to it this time. And maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm biased because I was coaching the Haunters and I was seeing it all, like, with derby eyes. But there was some handsiness happening.
100%, 100%. But for me, looking at it as a fan and as a fight ref, just watching how things were playing out, because it's one thing. It's one thing when I can watch someone like Ricochet go and skip a line fluently. It's another thing when she has to change everything that she's doing, because she now has to look at the front and the back, because she's inadvertently having to be a blocker and a jammer in order to make sure that someone gets 2 points. Like, just watching everything play out, like, there were a lot of adjustments made, and it came out, I think, around like the 4th or 5th jam. Like, I forget who got hit, but they got knocked into the wall, to the far wall by the fans. And it was like, what the hell is going on? Yes. Okay. So you already know. Yeah. It was like, once that happened, it was like all bets were off. And I actually went and checked on Euro, and I was like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, talk to me tomorrow after all of this. And I said, okay. And they continued on. And the next thing you know, she ended up scoring 6 points on the back half afterwards.
Yeah.
And it was an ugly 6 points. Like, there was a lot of forearms thrown. There were a lot of elbows thrown. There were a lot of bodies on the ground. But it got to the point where the Burrow Bros were in the middle of the stage. By the second half, they were on the outside because they were too busy. They couldn't dodge them anymore. It's like, let's just stay on the outside of the track. Like, it was physical. Like, it went from being speed and technique to just literal, just bully ball. And as a fan, I enjoyed all of it. But make no mistake about it, this is me trying to be as unbiased as possible. Watching all of you go about it, like, not just the people that were on the track, everyone that was going back and forth. Not even the coach, like, watching the adjustments that the coaches were making, yourself included, just listening to you call stuff as they're coming around certain turns. I'm like, this has gotten heated really quickly. Like, I can't even speak because there's so much that was happening information wise. Just in a matter of like 2 minutes per jam. Like, there was so much stuff going on. Like,
I ended up bench coaching because I'm very loud, and I lost my voice by the intermission, and I still had a full period left to go of shouting out directions. So
a lot because of the way they were. He's not wrong. That lineup that they had, as far as Sugar Smacks and Loretta Sin on the wall, the hands down one of the best performances that I've seen with anyone. In the way, like, just one of the best bouts, if not the best bout that I've seen played, period.
It was also really cool to see Boss skating again after her injury.
Boss was not skating.
She didn't skate because I saw her there.
Not skating.
Boss was a bench coach.
Oh, she was a bench coach. Okay.
She was a bench coach. She was not skating. She was not skating. But that's just it. There were a lot of people that were on the track that had to be on the track because there was so much stuff going on. But she did not skate. She was with. Wait, what do we call you now on the Haunters? What is it now? Before I say anything wrong.
Well, I told them to call me Sedusa, but they called me Cactus Rack anyway. So
I was like, I don't think she's Cactus.
Yeah, I told them I wasn't, but
see, that's why I was like, I think that's wrong. But
so,
okay.
Yeah, so when I started,
clearly in Sedusa gear. I mean, why did they call you Cactus Rack?
I have no idea, because when I started with CKO, the Haunters was one of my 2 primary teams, and Sedusa was one of my first CKO gimmicks. And I've always been Sedusa on the Haunter, so I'm not really sure why I was Cactus.
Well, that wouldn't have happened if I was there, but that's neither
I
here.
know.
But it was terrific. The next bout, the return for 2024, I believe is February, and it's
No, there's another bout. December 2nd, the minors bout.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Of course, the minors are on December 2nd. But going into 2024, the next premier event is February 24th, correct?
I could not tell you.
That's what I have. I could be wrong, but that's what I have. December 2nd, boy, that'll be great because the last minors bout was one of my favorite times. Watching those kids do what they do. And I got to see my buddy Donnie with the eyeball. He was there, and I talked to him at length.
His mother, Gin and Tonic, was skating on the Rumblers.
Yes, Jen and Tonic, very cool. Love her very much. She is terrific. But boy, go see the minors play. It's well worth your time on December 2nd. That building will be packed yet again. It seems like whatever the knockouts do in Homewood is well viewed by the community. And the support was amazing. My friend Laura, who owns a local business called the Rock Shop, we were exchanging messages on social media. She just had the nicest things to say about that entire experience in the whole year, and she can't wait to do it again. And Rock Shop has been a big supporter of me for a long time, so I'm glad that they love the product and they were there in force. So that was cool. And I look forward to Sedusa or Russian Blue or Cactus Rack returning to the world of roller derby as a skater. I know that will happen sometime soon.
Don't get your hopes up.
My hopes will always be up. Before we go, I want to run down really quickly the card for SCW Feast or Famine, just because I want to get Red's reaction on one of the matches, which I know.
I do have to tap out quickly because Hazel has been glaring at me for the last half hour.
Sorry, Hazel. That's on me. Sorry, Hazel.
So love you all. Good night.
Bye, Rachel. All right, that's Rachel. She is our favorite. She was Sedusa, not Cactus. Let's make that very clear. And there's a great shot. I love when they take that picture at the end of the night. Everybody is just so it's a family, and it's fantastic. I can't explain why I love it so much. I just do. Red, Saturday night in Shabance, Miles Mercer versus Jazz. What about it?
What about it?
What?
What about it?
You're not going to be there. The Soul Toucher versus the Kang. The ARC. It's like your handprint is on this match. How you ain't going to be there?
Because I again, the Red reality tour already started. Max made sure of that.
I'm just saying.
Who
wins that match? How do you break a match like that down?
I don't.
It's like your two children are fighting for the Genesis title.
They're not my children.
It's your nephews.
They're my brothers, and I refuse to pick against my brothers.
I don't know who I pick either.
I refuse.
I got to go with Jazz.
Well, you can go with Jazz.
Not that I don't think Kang can't win, but God, they're so their devious nature of being unpredictable and ruthless. It's the same. I don't know. I don't know what happens, but I know I'm glad I won't be there.
Well, I won't be there. So you'll be there, baby.
I'll be there. I will be there. I mean, I have to see what has to be the main event. Terry Allen teams up with Erica D'Erico to take on Aaron Xavier and Angel in a mixed tag match. How are you not there for that one?
What part of the Red reality?
Scary.
Steve, understand. there are only 2 more times people will see C-Red.
Are you about to little bunny foo-foo me?
Only 2 more times.
2 more chances.
And
That
that
with
is
nephew Renee all the time.
December 2nd, when I give Damian Gray a what for?
Triple tag, 6-man tag action at Rocket Bro. Well, that's going to be pretty cool.
And whatever IPW decides to do with me for the last time in December. So,
well, that's no fun. All right, what about Matt Dewar
well,
versus?
three times because I forgot November's here.
The pick on this one: Terry Allen and Erica Dierico take apart Aaron Xavier and Angel.
Well, I'm not gonna pick
How about Matt Dewar versus Sean Mulligan?
Mulligan.
That's a match. That's a banger.
Mulligan.
Wow. No love for Matty?
Mulligan.
Well, you know what do you do to you? Did he kick you in the face like Max did?
Nah. Mulligan though.
I think
Mulligan just got that title. You think Mulligan is about to let that title go? No.
It's a special attraction because that belt was not supposed to be defended anywhere but Steam Hollow. And the fact that Mulligan said, I'm going to defend this title wherever I want. So watch out for that. Mulligan is
Mulligan.
A lot of Jameson going on there. A lot of Jameson. I think Dewar gives him a hell of a contest, but Mulligan always seems to find.
Oh, no doubt about that. But Mulligan.
We've got the new tag team. They call it Chaotic Bonanzas. I call it Chaotic Bananas, taking on Dysfunction. Johnny Chaos has blazed a trail on the scene. Young, homegrown superstar. The fans love Johnny Chaos. And Bonanza is a treat to watch. He is quite the performer, quite the showman. And the fact that it's Chaotic Bonanza taking on Dysfunction, but boy, Dysfunction, those are some bad dudes. I love Chaotic Bonanza. I love this team. I love their teaming up. But boy, Dysfunction, they are too goddamn tough. I'm going with Dysfunction.
And I'm going with Dysfunction as well.
JPH in singles action versus El Dorado, one half of the Titans of Destruction.
JPH.
How JPH going to knock down that monster?
Again.
El Dorado takes shits bigger than JPH.
And every monster can be cut down to size. And again, if you've been paying attention to JPH all through the Midwest lately, he has been cutting people down.
Well,
so I
don't something because El Dorado is a bad man.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not. I'm going with JPH. You'll remember that.
That's because JPH part of the ARC now. That's why that's happening.
No.
And also in singles action, VJ Price of the Titans of Destruction is taking on Logan Steele, who has found himself in many a faction. He's in Chris Hedford's POW faction, as well as Scott Spade's faction. So at some point, someone's going to make Logan Steele choose. But I think VJ Price is going to make Logan Steele choose loss, because I'd say VJ Price wins this match.
And I'm taking Logan Steele.
Man, we're just disagreeing about every damn thing. Now, that is all the matches that SCW Feast or Famine has announced. There's still a few days for the match. I don't know what James Creed is doing, but I'm sure he'll be doing something. So I'm sure more match announcements will be made available as the week goes on. Don't miss it this Saturday night in Shabance. It's going to be a hell of a show. Feast and Famine. Feast or Famine always is. Want to thank the Ice Pick Vic Capri for being on this show tonight. Want to say, Shelly, we missed you, and hopefully we'll see you in the near future. But don't miss her match Friday night in Franklin Park, and don't miss Vic Friday night getting inducted and in the Ring of Destiny match. Next week on this show, it's Thanksgiving Tuesday. Our guests.
It better be good. It better be good.
Well, I don't think you're going to be very happy about this. But they're going to be on anyway because they've got a big part at ARW's Black and Blue show, which happens the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I actually find my way to ARW to watch what's going on there this Wednesday. Man, they have been the bane of my existence for a long time, but I'm trying to bury the hatchet with these boys. Joining us next week on the Power Hour will be the Workhorses.
Oh,
And we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving in workhorse style. So it's a very Workhorses Thanksgiving on the Power Hour in support of the ARW show, Black and Blue. We will have them on to talk all about it. They got a lot happening at that show. So it will be good to talk to the boys about what ARW has cooking in Lake Station.
if you say so.
That's all we got. Thanks for
All
watching
right.
Power Hour tonight. We will catch up with you next Tuesday night. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you around the bend. Good night, everybody.